LOL take two. LOL take two. LOL take two. Now listen. Don't be a quitter, or in show business jargon, the show must go on, made its way into my suburban psyche in the most indirect way. I'm sure my father probably attributes my lifelong tenacity to my short-lived Little League career. Now, I never once expressed an interest in baseball, neither watching it nor, God forbid, playing it. In fact, when my folks signed me up for the Little League team, the Pirates, in the summer after 4th grade, I was dumbfounded at what I had done to deserve this torture. The Pirates was a team of misfits, like myself, that was coached by 2 high school jocks who thought they were boot camp sergeants. Early on, it was apparent that I had no skills in the art of baseball, except standing in right field, gazing up at the gorgeous Iowa sky, and usually singing aloud, completely oblivious to the game. On a rare occasion, someone would hit a ball that was heading my way. My chorus of Karen Carpenter's Top of the World would be rudely interrupted by my team members screaming my name. I would look up to see a ball coming from the heavens and stick my arm out, praying that I would not be hit. I never caught a single ball. This, of course, made me greatly disliked by my teammates, and, really, who could blame them? My father was a salesman for Jockey, as in underwear. My teammates gave me the nickname Adelman Underwear, and I went to my mother wanting to quit the team. Now, Tony, your father makes a good living selling Jockey underwear. It's nothing to be ashamed of. They sell shirts, too. She then took a sip of her scotch and water. You have to finish the season. You are not a quitter. The taunting continued, as did my complete inadequacy as a baseball player. I'd be standing on the plate, waiting for a pitch, and the boot camp coaches would be hollering, "Choke up on the bat, Adelman Underwear! Choke up! Choke up!" I had no idea what they meant, so I'd squeeze the bat harder, wondering what in the hell difference this would make in my hitting the ball. Now, there was one way you could get on base without having to hit the ball or get walked. If the ball hit you, you could get walked to first base. Listen, Adelman Underwear, when the pitcher throws, move your arm out just a little so that you get hit and then you can get on base. Really? You're kidding, right? Hell no. During practice, they'd make us lay on our stomachs in a circle, like spokes in a wheel, and one at a time, one person would run and jump over each body in the wheel. What this did for our baseball skills was beyond me. And when they came to Adelman Underwear, they'd somehow manage to step on my back with their cleats. When I complained, the Barons of Boot Camp would make me take a lap. Oh, a lap. Freedom. How I love taking laps. I love taking them because it gave me a break from the misery, and because while taking them, I could usually get in at least 1 or 2 John Denver songs. At the end of the baseball season, the coaches announced they were having a sleepover for the team. I was horrified at the thought, as I figured they'd all probably be wearing their cleats and their sleeping bags. I put my foot down to both my parents that I would not be attending the sleepover. I had not been a quitter throughout the entire not a single run season, but a sleepover was out of the question. I won. Now, I'm sure my parents think that summer instilled the stick-to-itness that I carry with me today, but I beg to differ, as that lesson was taught to me by a stripper named Monique McCrae. Getting my driver's license at age 16 opened up my world immensely. No longer was I limited to places I could walk or bicycle. No longer did Saturday mean having maid rights at Merle Hay Mall, and then, for further amusement, we'd reenact scenes from the soap opera The Edge of Night at the Ethan Allen Furniture Showroom. We'd go from fake room to fake room, quoting lines that we had memorized that week. For the first time, I can find no way to justify your behavior. You are playing God, and it is monstrous. This went on and on and on until we were finally asked to leave. That summer, my best friend Tony and I got up the nerve to venture to that dreaded of all places in Des Moines, the East Side, specifically to a movie theater called 1536 East Grand that showed porno movies. Still 2 years underage, we dressed as old as we could. We parked several blocks away and acted as adult as possible when we arrived at the box office to buy our tickets to the Triple X feature, Starship Heroes. The guy in the box office didn't even look up from his newspaper as he sold us our tickets. The movie theater was formerly a first-run theater that had, not too many years before, shown matinees of the Apple Dumpling Gang to hordes of children running up and down the aisles. In fact, they still had a concession stand tucked under the staircase going up to the closed-off balcony, and the smell of cheap trans-fat-filled popcorn permeated the air of the lobby. The smell of dankness and industrial-strength cleaner hit our noses as we entered the theater itself. There were about 15 other patrons scattered about. We didn't want to be recognized, so we put on dark sunglasses and secured 2 seats near the back. Now, being complete porno novices, we didn't think anything of it when several patrons moved closer to us like sharks in a tank in which fresh meat has just been dropped. The movie began, and we found it hilarious. I mean, really, truly funny. Starship Heroes was a science fiction adventure in which, when the cast was clothed, was attired in bikinis covered in aluminum foil. I mean, my God, our costumes for our Super 8 movies and the theater productions in my garage were better than these. During a particularly humorous scene, a woman was naked in an aluminum foil-covered barber chair, while another naked woman pretended to zap her breasts with a squirt gun, also covered in aluminum foil. The movie suddenly stopped, the sound slowing to a mumble and then turning off completely. A pink spotlight appeared on the stage, and a woman in full feather boa regalia, high heels, and carrying a small box speaker sauntered down the aisle. She went up on stage and took her time plugging in the speaker and a microphone. She then stepped into the spotlight and greeted the audience. "Good evening. I'm Monique McCrae, the big M&M. I melt in your mouth and not in your hand." She paused for laughter that never came. She told a few more bad jokes and made a gesture to the person running the spotlight. A scratchy record was put on. Monique then proceeded in earnest to sing her version of Won't You Come Home, Bill Bailey. It was like bad 1940s karaoke. Tony and I applauded her at the end of her number, as well as a smattering of other moviegoers who took their hands out of their crotches to clap. Thank you guys. And now, what you've all been waiting for." She motioned to the spotlight operator, who again put on a scratchy record. But this time, Monique twirled in a circle endlessly for the entire song and, at the end, dropped one piece of clothing. She repeated this for several more numbers until, at long last, Monique McCrae stood there naked on stage just as God had made her, except for the high heels, of course. We clapped, as did some of the other members of the audience. I mean, it was the right thing to do. It took her several minutes to pick up each piece of clothing and to disconnect the speaker and the microphone. With her arms completely full and still naked, she walked off the stage and up the aisle, smiling at her most loyal supporters as she passed us. You know, I was amazed at how, in spite of it all, the 15 audience members, the industrial strength cleaner smell, the scratchy records, she had been a complete professional, a trooper, and put on her show as if it had been an enthusiastic, less touching themselves inappropriately audience. Wow, what an amazing lesson on how to be a pro for 2 kids who wanted to be in show business. The movie slowly started up again on the scene with the woman getting her breast zapped. We left shortly thereafter, and on our way out, passed the spotlight operator now making a fresh batch of popcorn at the concession stand. Sitting on an upside-down bucket under the staircase was the big M&M, clad only in a robe and chilling out after her performance. She caught our eyes on the way out, and we said she did a great job. She knew. She took another drag off her cigarette. She had 45 minutes until her next show. LOL take 2. LOL take 2. LOL take 2.